All right, this is the fourth video in the Long Goodbye series. Basically about system design, about how we're going to survive to the future. I'd say it's more than about survival. It's about creating a better system, a better world. Obviously, a big problem in our world today is that it's chaos is ruling. Chaos owns us all. Some nations are going to dictate what the future is going to look like just through sheer overpopulation. The problem of the environment getting destroyed, and it's getting destroyed by a capitalist industry, by the fact that people are going to be always going to be seduced by the cheaper and easier way to do something. They don't want the most efficient in the long term. They want the most efficient in the short term. They want to pay less, preferably on a credit card, and get as much as they can now. And that's our doom. And then the second part of that is the idea of individual control, this notion of freedom. As much as I love the word, as much as I like the idea, the freedom to destroy there's some limits on freedom that are going to have to exist, and people can keep pretending they don't have to exist, but they're going to have to exist. Either human psychology is going to have to change, or we will have to go back to the Stone Age. We will have to live in a world where there is no technology, and that's basically an impossibility. I mean, the door's been opened. We can't, even the worst nuclear holocaust probably isn't going to destroy every book on Earth. And if there's a human being left to read one, he's going to read it. He's going to try to figure out how to do it. He's going to build another nuclear bomb. And he's going to blow up the world again in a couple hundred years. So we have to change how we live. We have to change how we look at what life is. Oh, we won't. We're not going to survive. We're not. The threat is real, and it's right out there. It's just a little ways out there. And so something's going to have to change. Some big changes are going to have to take place. We're going to have to restructure the whole game. It's going to change it all. A lot of it, anyway. And, so people aren't going to want to hear that, but that's just the fact. So anyway, let's get to, real quick, I just want to, Luke, the anarchist, the market anarchist, has made another video saying, no, I'm not a capitalist, I'm not for the greedy and the exploitionist and the rest of it, but there's no way around it, Luke. Your stupid non-initiation of violence bullshit is just that bullshit. It's not the nature of the human beast. This sort of connects to the morality video, but I'll throw it out there. The fact is that, yes, we're greedy scoundrels by nature. If we can get away with a crime, we'll commit the crime if we want to. You see it on the internet. People download music for free. They don't think about, oh yeah, I should pay for it. Or they download software to do the same thing. We're all guilty of it, and we do it because there's no chance we're going to get caught. There's no chance we're going to get humiliated or be shown to be a scoundrel. And so that's why we do it. That's our nature. And that's the nature you will let loose. And it's inevitable. The smaller you make government, you're just creating tribes. Tribes will fight with each other. Tribes will offend each other. They will step on each other's toes. And then people will, the revenge, the payback will just keep escalating. That is what history teaches. As for government and all the rest of it, you just keep saying the same rhetoric of murderers and all this other crap, and corporations owning government or being helped by government. Government has been an obstacle to the takeover by the corporations. That's the historical fact. Just as we stopped monarchy with democracy, government has stopped capitalism from owning us all. We would be living in 1984 if it wasn't for government, because the industry would own us. The business, the Goliath would own us all. Clearly, corporations have influence in government, but so do unions, so do a lot of different interest groups. But clearly businesses don't own government, or government wouldn't be paying tons of money in Social Security taxes, unemployment insurance, and workman's comp. We can go right down the list of the burdens that are placed on business. They pay taxes even, so get real. I don't believe in corporate taxes, but anyway, the businesses do have to account for it. They have to expend money on it, the whole thing, and it's a reality, and so it's just bullshit. Your stupid anarchy would just liberate, it would consolidate wealth, and it would liberate violence. It's just idiotic. It's so preposterously idiotic. It's not a solution. It's exactly the wrong answer. And you can keep pretending that you're some sort of social humanitarian with this nonsense, but it's idiotic. It just lets the beast loose. The only thing that's kept the beast under control is government. That's the fact. We've seen what people are capable of. History is full of it. Anarchy is death. All right, enough of that shit. So then the Amazing Atheist made a semi-serious video encouraging people to think. But his conclusion was that everything has been tried. We've tried everything and everything fails. We haven't tried shit, okay? We've tried a couple of different models. I mean, even stupid things like communism. We didn't even give communism a fair fight. Has Cuba's communism had a fair fight? No. We imposed sanctions. We took away as much business and money as we possibly could. Who knows where Cuba would be today if they were allowed to exploit their beaches and allowed to sell their cigars and the rest of it. You know, so we haven't proven its failure because we caused its failure. We are the instrument of its failure. And capitalism has owned us for centuries. There hasn't been, what innovations in the way of democracy have taken place? There's very few innovations. Some countries are a little better than others, but representative democracies are rare, very rare. We end up with these systems that allow the special interest to own the system. And there's lots of changes that can be made to improve systems. Instant runoff voting is one of them, which you trashed. And I think my getting rid of the geographic voting and instead have people represented by their ideology would be a huge improvement. Change the whole system radically. Create a fair and a just democracy where everybody would be invested in the system. They'd all have a place. They'd all have a voice. And make a big difference. But anyway, so let's get down to the system design part again. No, I want to throw in a little bit of economics just because I'm a little sick of the commie rhetoric, you know. I've gone through this thing before. Incentive economics, that's what I'm for. And all incentive economics would impose responsibility on both ends. I would put video cameras on every government employee's head. They'd all, you commit a crime and you're, you know, theft or any kind of violation, and you're a government employee, the penalty should be 10 times a regular citizen. The standard should be much higher. Public servant should mean just that, public servant, okay? And we don't have those. Obviously, teachers' unions and the government employees' unions have shystered the system. I mean, we should be paying superintendents of grammar schools. You're getting paid $250,000 a year. It's just ludicrous. No excuse for it. It doesn't make any sense at all. Obviously, the system has to be rigged because there's no way idiots could be paid that much money for producing nothing. They don't do any work, real work. It's idiotic. They're contributing nothing. It's you know, these administrators. But that's the system we've created. So we find it in corporations too. You know, I'd love them to give IQ tests to, you know, the board members on your average corporation. Millions of dollars. They're just taxing the productivity of commerce. They're taxing it. That's all it is. So anyway, the bottom line is, in any kind of economic system, you want to. The simple intention is to always give people an incentive to do better, to work. And you know, every person, and always the product of what we want to achieve is a straight line between production and consumption. No middlemen, no bullshit, no lying, no shysters, no marketing. Think about what the you know, how many jobs have nothing to do with producing anything real. They're just bullshit jobs. There's, you know, maybe 80% of the employment market is logistical nonsense. All this shuffling of papers and bullshit round in circles. No real constructive work accomplished. Just trying to figure out some way to shyster, some way to exploit, some way to, you know, hook people into paying 19% interest on a credit card or 33% or whatever. It's all game playing. And get sent, you know, all my mail is junk. 95% of the mail coming in my mailbox is junk. wasted money, wasted resources. Why? Because they can make money doing it that way. They can make money seducing, and then we all have to pay for the seduction. We all have to pay for the makeup and the lipstick and the breast implants and the rest of the crap, the front that is put on everything to sell it. And instead of people demanding a system where the consumer is in control, we have a system where the marketers are in control. And the corporations have all sold out to it. I mean, even online businesses do it. Ah, damn it, I'm out of time already? All right. Well, until next time. Shit.